I was really holding on to the story of what I thought our family would look like. After our first loss, the first loss was extremely traumatic for me, physically and emotionally, but the physical trauma really stuck with me for some time. So I was in a hard space, but felt like the only way to get through that hard space was to continue to try and really pushed forward, because I felt
Mm,
like I had to be a parent, right? I had this loss and I was so incredibly sad and was dealing with the trauma of that loss. And how else would I fix that other than getting pregnant again? I think getting the opportunity to be foster parents, gave us the space as a family and as a couple to talk about what parenting meant to us and
mm,
why we wanted to be parents and, what the end goal was, really. And the end goal
right.
was we want to experience parenting together. And if that means that we don't have biological children, maybe that's okay. So 10 years removed, we were on vacation and we're sitting on the beach, and a young couple, a heterosexual couple that looked, a lot like my husband and I many years ago, walked by, and she was very pregnant and they had a dog and they were holding hands. And I had a moment of like deep, deep, deep sadness and grief. And I was like, that is what my life was supposed to, quote unquote, look like. And, was like struck by that. And then, not even a second later, I look and see my children playing in the sand and had this moment
Mm,
of like deep gratitude. And it's like, how are these things existing at the same time? We wouldn't have recognized that parenting can look different than what we expected it to, right? So I
mhm.
think that, yeah, I think that really allowing yourself, the picture's important, but it's not everything. The experience and what you're feeling in this moment is what will help you navigate what comes next. I often use kind of this analogy where I talk about, if we think of our brain as a coffee filter, right? And this is more from a clinical lens, but think of your brain as a coffee filter, right? And imagine having your coffee in the morning and using a filter, and then using that same filter all day. And then imagine using it for a week. And then imagine using it for a year. Like at the end
Wow.
of that year, we have something that doesn't even resemble, even remotely close, something to coffee. It's like distorted. It's probably moldy. It's gross, right? If you think of your brain in that way and look at your brain as that filter, if you are not bringing in a second filter or a third party and you're just sitting in the experience on your own, it's going to become something different. And that's where people start to talk about, what if, is it my fault, right? And if those stories aren't said out loud, if there isn't another filter that's brought in, then yeah, that is very impactful to someone's mental health and their experience through this.